right, let's get started. Apologize for that one, and it was a miss hiccup. Good morning to all of you. Welcome to the breakfast show. This is episode 213, breakfast show with SmartRobie, and indeed, we're already in the month of May. As you can also see, the KLCI is still not going anywhere as much as we can say, and that's pretty been the sentiment that many people are feeling too. No doubt the KLCI has turned Red Pentagon, but since then it hasn't gone much of a place, and let me just show you where it is actually in terms of where the market is likely to be going. More likely, I believe it's going to be moving a lot on the sideways market. Let's take a look at what we have for you this morning in our breakfast show. And of course, this session we're talking about previously wanted to retest the old high, but it did not, and since retreated, we will take a look at where the chart wise is going to be. And also we do feel that this is likely to be in a stage 1 accumulation again, but we might also find out that this eventually may just sort of break downwards. So we want to see how this thing is unfolding as we have seen here, and what is likely to, what does the audience feel where the market is. It's a bit kind of boring, right? I do agree with you. There is not much of so-called a trading kind of environment. Even the investing and most of the things that you buy is still likely to fall down as ever in here. So some Green Pentagon will show you some trades about. Of course, we will look at some of those. They are very specific, those penny stock that has done pretty well. We also look at one of those in here. And of course, this is where you want to use our hang on. Yes, that's right. So let me just bring up the correct slides first. Yes, that is the... Okay, that's right. So this is where we are, and you can also follow us on our TikTok. Now in today's sharing, you can actually know, right, and follow us on our KLCI. So let me switch to a wider chart here, so you can see from my chart here. Okay, so you can see from here, and let's take a look at the chart right now, and definitely you can click on the KLCI market today, and one more time because the response is a bit slow in this morning, and you can also hit on that one, and that pretty much tell you where the market is. So switch it to a 1-month chart, and you can see on the left hand side, even though it turned Green Pentagon on the 2nd of May, the market started to move sideways. You have this also upthrust in the manner, right? So when you see upthrust, usually a lot of the weakness is coming, and since then the market has moved down onwards, likely to test the 1410, but right now it's holding up at 1424, which is actually a good level in here, right? And we'll also take a look at the Robie FA list, and of course the SmartRobie is powered by the Pentagon Guider I use in our SmartRobie apps in here. And this morning, let's take a look at some of the big decliner, big volume in here. We definitely have revenue in here, JM almost unchanged. We have Classica, which is I think is a change from the old name, Tango, SMRT, these are your usual one. Nestle is I'm surprised Nestle is one of the big gainer. FNN, all these are very, very so-called large cap stocks. Decliner, we have Patama, YH Property, Contra, which is a small movement, Hextech, and Penta, which is down. Penta actually did post a very good result since then, but since then it has turned Red Pentagon. You can also see it on the chart wise in here. Let's take a look at some of our previous KLCI Pentagon champion. I think many of you will know about Salute in here, but Silver Ridge was the other stocks that actually turned up also very nicely in here. You can see since Green Pentagon was on the 16, let's take a look at Silver Ridge, SRIDGE. That's the one. You can hit on that one, and we're going to look at the chart, hit that one, so we send it off, and we look at stock chart, stock comment here, hit this one here, you can also see this one really a gigantic big movement in here. Switch to a 1 month chart and you can see since 1 month on the 18th of April, so it actually turned Pentagon on the 8th. But what really carried this, I believe, the VSA 360 have some insight, is the insider buying that you can see on BB here. So those were why perhaps propelled these stocks to move higher in here, and that's really positive going forward for that one here. Okay, so this is where we see this market likely to push maybe higher, I suppose, but I do think that it's also time to take some profit if you have not done so. Okay, and let's move on to, and this is again powered by the VSA 360 that we have in our the so-called premium products for the membership. Of course, some of you who are the SmartRobie, you can continue to use where we are. Now, if you look back to the KLCI, let me just go back to the KLCI. I hit the KLCI market this today. And now what we're seeing is really a range bound kind of situation, right? Market's not going higher, and you have the 1430. It's going to be forcing into a little, eventually I think it's going to be forcing into a narrow band, and then it's either going to break up or break down in here. Right now, you have support at the 1410. One of the major support 1410, but the resistance at 1440. It's sort of like hitting up and down. Foreign funds been selling the last 3 days in here, and no doubt the market still crossed up but slightly retreated since then in here. Okay, on the KLCI futures using the VSA market stages with our plugin in here, you can see market try to tend high, but it's again not going anywhere. It's still green Pentagon, but will it turn red Pentagon? It will, if you do see another sell-off in here, and that's probably going to be following that. If you do see a sell-off also in the US market, this will likely to be a sell-off in here. So market is not going anywhere, and that has been the so-called the main theme of what we've seen so far. Now on the hot sectors, let's take a look at the hot sectors in here. You can click on the chart, so you can see we have plantation being the first, healthcare, construction, utility, and telemedia. Now the idea behind that is that we want to look at the first hot sectors and then look at the second level in here, maybe healthcare and construction. So those are the one that may have some sort of weakness right now, but it may turn into strength. But judging from what we've seen, the KLCI being such a weak market in here, it's kind of difficult to see where it's going now. Construction may benefit from again some of the projects which the government has been talking about in here, but my taking is I will still stick on plantation because of the hot weather that we're seeing, El Nino, and that likely to push up the event. Now if you look back on the last Monday, our last session in here, the SmartRobie hot sector, we actually picked the first item, which is the telemedia. Most of them are still holding up. Hasn't really gone up much. You can check out asiatatime.com media. They're pretty much where they are, even for Cellcom, DG, and maybe an exception of Opcon started to take a bit of profit since it's moved up. Green Pentagon, because being a penny stocks, you can see market cap is only 288 million, so that's much easier to control, whereas the bigger market cap like Cellcom DG, which is 51 billion, Telecom 18.8 billion, that might give it a bit more difficult. Now of course, to those of you, appreciate, you can give us a thumbs up if you really enjoy what you are watching in here, and also share that in your timeline in here. We do appreciate for that one. And also, we're going to be looking at the Robie FA list, right, which is the fundamental list here. Going back to Robie FA list here, and there you go. So we have 3 in here, and they are highly rated. 4 out of 8, 5 out of 8, and 5 out of 8. That was from this week, 15th of May in here, so we will look at that. But we also look at the 8th of May, that was the last week, and some of these stocks actually, due to the market weakness, you can see it actually turned red Pentagon, right? You can see turn Red Pentagon. Actually, by the time we selecting was Red Pentagon, we thought it could pull back, but instead it hit the ATR stop for BJ Food. So you can see BJ Food is rated, even though it's rated high, right? It can break down, and if you are trading this stock, it's better to exit this stock in here because we do not know how low can this market sell off. You can see there's a sell off in here, SO, and that's tend to push the further down. PE at 11 times. With the ROE at 25 times, paying a 3% dividend for that manner here, okay? And the other stocks also turned Red Pentagon was Pentec. It turned Green Pentagon, right? Let's take a look at Pentec. Looking at the Robie FA stocks here. Your track timeline in here, we do. Okay, and you can see Pentec. We look at the stock chart, stock comment here. So you can see this one switching to 1 month chart also break down after we have the Red Pentagon. But let's take a look at the stock fundamentals. So you can see stock fundamentals in here with a P of 5 times, while the sector average is 23 times. So it is a very, very low P in here, but need to be cautioned and investigate further, especially those of you who are wondering why is the P showing such very low. Sometimes it could be a value trap in here, right? And that's also why you want to be looking into it. All right, you can also subscribe to our daily free newsletter in here. Just go to our website or use the QR code on the next chart in here. And the Robie FA list, as I said before just now, we were looking at it. Looking at Robie FA list, we have 3 in here, kind of like Bolstead Plantation, that's right, because Plantation is the one in the hot sectors which we saw previously here. Last trader was 74 cents. We have BAT and Allianz, okay? And apparently Bolstead Plantation, it's hot. BAT is also hot, right? Let's take a look at the chart-wise setup here. You can see Bolstead Plantation, need to be very careful. You have triple top here, the first one here, second one here, and the third one here. So you have 3 triple top here, so you have to be very careful if should the market break higher. So you want to be holding at this level in here and not allow it to break further than it should. All right, let's look at the Bolstead Plantation wise and stock charts. We're going to look at the FA first, right? Stock fundamental here, and you can see from here it does pay. Oh, it did have a big payment of dividend. You can see 19% here, ROE of 20%, while the sector average is only 11% with a P of 2 times. You know, that's very, very low. Again, value trap, ladies and gentlemen. Value trap. You have to be careful when you have such low thing. But again, if it does correct by itself, it flows back to touching back the sector average about 11.9 times. Then that's a lot of price gain from this chart in here. Okay, that's the 2. Next one is BAT. We all know BAT is British American Tobacco, which did suffer its fate due to the vaping, and since then really fall out of favor. So type BAT, hit the BAT button here, right? And now we type one more time the response, and we have stock fundamentals. So again, stock fundamentals, paying 8% dividend at a rating of 5 with a P of 11 times, sector average being 17 times, okay? But the ROE is definitely very high because this is a very, very matured company in here. But in the past, were around the $30 and $40, but since then, been a major payment of dividend, but since then, it's really fallen a bit here. And it's back now to 8. Okay, let's take a look at this one here, and that was just pressing the intrinsic value calculator. That's this button that you can press here, which is the bit.ly URL. Now, looking on this week, right? Hot sectors. Okay, we have the Plantation. I choose Plantation because Plantation was the so-called stocks that at least are driven by the El Nino, so it has a little bit of, you know, so-called favor among by the weather. I suppose you can see Bolstead Plantation in here. Jaya Tiasa turned Green Pentagon 11th of May, but still down. Then you have SmartRobie Plantation, Harlan, 4.2, but this one is a small cap. So you can see a lot of small caps move up. Tan is a large cap, 5.9 with the Green Pentagon since it moved up. So check out the plantation stock. Look for those that have pretty good setup in here for much. So we're going to get down to the summary in here. So KLCI, like it or not, really hasn't been great and not moving in particularly very favorable, but it has Green Pentagon. It has 6 out 18 bars. Reason why is one of the things that we noticed in the past where it does turn the blue trend zone. It moved for about 18 bars. So we have 6 bars. Who knows, it might just turn back up, but at this point, with the lack of interest, and also we have foreign funds selling in here, I'm not surprised if the KLCI can break down lower in here. Even buying some of the FA collection list to collect dividend, and you need to know what you're doing. Even though they're paying dividend, market might just go a bit lower in here and probably wait for the base. If the market do break down, then that's where you want to exit in here. Something positive from the education side, on the 3rd and 4th of June in Mid Valley, we will be one of the exhibitor in here, and also myself here, Martin, will be one of the speakers. So come and see us on the booth 25, Grow Your Manila, right, at the Mid Valley Center in here, and come over and say hello. All right, like to meet all of you in here, and also showcase some of our latest product in here. And if you feel free to sign up for some of our free newsletter in here, as well as our YouTube channel. You can always subscribe to our YouTube channel, not miss in here. We now available on TikTok. Do follow us on our handler trade_VSA for things that are related to stock market and some of my own personal lifestyles and behavior. You can check out that too. There's a combo for those of you who are interested in a VSA 360 in here, using some of our latest feature on in here. Really liked by our members in a review, and we are down to any stocks this morning in here. I think many of y'all may not be looking at stocks right now, so I just want to know where the sentiment is going, but we need to be very patient in here. I suppose many of you has been very patient in the past with the kind of lackluster market that we've seen right now in here. Unfortunately, this is where we are. We are the number 4 right now, in terms of market capitalization. Also very similar to what we've seen on the ASEAN games in here. Hasn't been a great treat for a lot of investors and traders. That's why some of the times I talk about cross-border markets in here. So that's all I have for this morning in here. If you have any comments, questions you want to ask, feel free to pencil in here. But don't forget to join our Telegram chat room for all our stock market information here. And I'll see you. Oh, by the way, this Wednesday, the live Facebook has been cancelled. Right, so we are probably, if not, probably I will ask Zach if he can host the Wednesday talk. Maybe have something to share with you in here. Else, I'll be back on Friday. Just take note, on Wednesday, I am likely to be away for an appointment, so it will be cancelled on Wednesday. So that's all I have. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for your support.